This is the Talk Wrestling Radio Network. All the wrestling with none of the ego.
Episode 100, coming to you live over Blog Talk Radio. It's the FTW Podcast, the wrestling world in all its laughable glory. I am Harrison. With me, as always, is Joe. Say hello, Joe.
Hey, we're not recording.
You there,
Keep
Joe?
going. Keep going. Ah, fuck. All right, yeah, we're not recording. Yay! Fuck software.
Alright, we're recording individually, it's fine. Rob, say hello, Rob.
There we go.
Kevin is not with us this week, but we do have Scott in his absence. Say hello, Scott.
Your resident fifth Beatle has arrived.
And Garvin is manning the boards. Tonight is episode 100 and was recorded on February 7th, 2012. Just want to let everybody know that we're still looking for good show intros. Continue sending those in by calling 313-444-FTW4. That's 313-444-3894. And you can email us MP3 and .oog files to voices@ftwpodcast.com. Don't forget to check us out on twrnetwork.com for all the latest news and wrestling. And while you're there, sign up for the weekly newsletter. Talk Wrestling Radio is a 24/7 new network. Tune in throughout the day for wrestling talk, show recaps, and great news, including wrestling themes. Besides this show, check out The Rant Tuesdays at 8. Our shows on Wednesdays at 3. Ringside Report is on Fridays at 9. These are all Eastern Standard Time. Wrestling Randomness is on Saturdays at 7 p.m. And the Wrestling Call-In Show on Saturdays at 11 with Marked Up on Sundays at 8. And tonight is our 100th episode. Suck it, haters. 100 episode.
I'm like the only person clapping. I guess I'm the only one that cares.
Well, because if we clap, it sounds arrogant.
Yeah, it seems pretty sad.
Hey,
I can't wait to be over 9,000!
We are broadcasting live on Blog Talk Radio. If you're listening to us on BTR, check the Skype button. You can just click on that to call into the show. Or you can reach us at 347-884-9018. If you're new to the show, check out FTWpodcast.com for more about us and how to get involved in future shows. And to celebrate our 100th episode, we are offering FTW designed and approved merchandise. Just head to FTWpodcast.com/merch. And if you got a torso and need to protect it from the harsh world, we got you covered. Literally. FTWpodcast.com/merch with an assortment of designs for the most discerning of wrestling fans. And our question of the week last week, we had Road Dogg, Hacksaw, and every announcer in the 2012 Rumble as a surprise. What would be the epic surprise for this year's Rumble? No, for next year's Rumble, I should say. Going down, everybody wants to see, apparently, Hogan, Sting. Big surprise, Greg on our Facebook, friend of the show on Facebook, put down Ultimate Warrior. Kurt Angle, Shockmaster was a good one. I gotta be honest, Warrior would be pretty hilarious, but I mean, I still think RVD, just because I really wanted him for this week, and yeah, or for this year, but it didn't happen, so maybe next year.
Well, in order for Warrior to be a part of the Royal Rumble, you might have to borrow Kane's wig.
Yeah, that video they had of him just walking around snorting. I don't know if anybody else saw that, where it's like it's almost like that really bad, what was the fuck, Blair Witch Project. And all of a sudden he comes up and he's like, but he looks like really cracked out. Oh, it's great.
So yeah, definitely let us, if you have any, if you want to let us know what you think would be your dream surprise talent for next year's Rumble, you can check out our list on our Facebook page, facebook.com/FTW Podcast. But for right now, we are going to talk about Impact. Rob, what was your absolute favorite thing about Impact?
Well, Looking over Impact, I'd have to say that the best moment of the night had to be Magnus and Samoa Joe against Crimson and Matt Morgan. I really like this Buckingham Brawl match stipulation that they came up with. I thought it put a nice twist on the match, and the two guys put together a really great match. Also of note, I found it interesting that Austin Aries got huge cheers while his opponent Haskins, who is from London, got booed and got like no reaction from the crowd outside of the few scattered boos that he got. I thought that was interesting because usually it's the other way around when you have British
gets the cheers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question for you, Rob. I wanted to talk to you about this because every single thing that, I mean, Impact was huge. I mean, like, they filled that entire arena. So, do you think that's indicative of the fact that Impact is huge in England, or is it that because they get so few as far as live wrestling shows during the course of the year, this is just what happens, and they would have gotten a huge crowd no matter what?
I think it's a bit of both. I mean, we've talked time and time again about how TNA is really huge overseas. You could make the argument that when it comes to overseas audiences, TNA could actually and is a potential legitimate challenger to the WWE. But here in the States, it just doesn't pan out that way. But, you know, Wembley's not a small arena, and they had that thing, and they had that pretty well packed. It was definitely nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's an expensive trip to move everything over there. I mean, obviously. I mean, just talent alone. Do you think that TNA kind of... I mean, they have to kind of look at that crowd and think, not only that, but they have that extra show. They have that extra, it's an hour, right? That extra show that goes on after Impact, that's on over in England. They got to think that that's a market they really got to tap. Like you said, in comparison to the States, it is weak for the WWE, and they have potential there for a lot of growth. Do you see TNA moving forward, you know, in the coming years, maybe making more appearances over there? I mean, they did Ring King King in India.
Right.
Do you see maybe going over to England and doing more live shows there, factoring into what they want to do at all?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I would try to be taking a look. If I were one of the business guys for Impact, I would be taking a look at things and like, okay, why are we so popular overseas? What are we doing right overseas that we're not doing right?
I think that's easy to answer though, Rob. They have talent from WWE that got really popular worldwide, and now that they're no longer with WWE and they're working for TNA, the people are still coming out to see those guys.
I think that's part of it, but I think at the risk of stepping on some toes here, I think the other part of it too is that by and large, professional wrestling fans outside of the United States are much smarter than wrestling fans inside the United States.
What are you calling me, Rob?
What I mean is that pro wrestling in the United States has become the WWE, basically. Anything outside the WWE is kind of hard to get popularity in the United States, whereas overseas audiences have wide diversity. You have Lucha Libre, you have the Japanese styles, you have the British wrestling program in England that was on the decline but is starting to come back now, and England is starting to produce some more solid wrestling talent. And I think that TNA, with their varied approach, kind of speaks to that a bit better than a company like the WWE does that says, here's what we're going to give you, take it or leave it.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily that. I think that American fans prefer more storyline-driven wrestling versus the more international fans that prefer authentic wrestling, as much as an authentic fake sport can be.
Well, just don't turn this into a hipster argument, all right?
Says the hipster.
Argument? Yeah, no.
How am I the hipster?
You've always been the hipster.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I the one with the beard that keeps going on and on about NXT and Superstars? No, that would be our producer. I'm the hipster. He's got a fedora.
I do have a fedora. And the other thing to consider is that...
You've got skinny, trendy, hipster jeans.
That's because I'm tall, Joe. All jeans are going to look like that on me.
I think,
Hi, Garvin.
Hey, yeah,
I think...
The States is WWE. I mean, it's going to be difficult for anyone to match the reach that the WWE has, and cross into that fan base. You know, we see it every week when we're live tweeting Impact. The American fans are never going to like Impact for whatever reason. I mean, there's a lot of good things happening. But outside of the United States, you do have good markets, good solid markets like the UK, like we're seeing in India, that they do want to see something, and that's not somewhere that WWE is going to go often.
Right.
No, it's an absolutely fair point. And you got to think as far as, you got to think, basically wrestling at this point has reached, I would have to say, is getting close to reaching its saturation level, where it's not going to get much more popular than it already is. So you either got to hope that people breed more, and that is what sustains you, or you got to go overseas. You got to hit India with Ring Ka King. I think that's a genius move by TNA. I think they really got to hit England hard. I think they have a chance here because they're a small organization. They're more nimble. Do it. Go overseas. It's going to be more expensive in the short run, but it'll pay off dividends in the long run.
On that note, let's go over to SmackDown, because I got... Oh, no, we got other shit to talk about, so never mind.
Yeah, calm the hell down, Joe.
But that's a good point. It was a great lead-in. Damn it, 100 shows in when I still fuck it up.
I mean, I think you're right on the money, Harrison. I mean, when I looked at how full Wembley Stadium was, you know, and it's not just people sitting there bored.
Right.
I mean, these are people getting into
the
show
crowd.
and everything. You know, you're going to lose money. I'm not even sure TNA lost money in the short run. As expensive as it is to bring everything over, with how much money they made, they may have come close to breaking even just on that one trip. And then they're going to stay there next week, although as big a TNA fan as I am, I have to admit I'm nervous about a Star Wars-themed wrestling show.
Could not be any worse than the Star Wars themed holiday special.
I can't wait for the Jawa on Jawa match.
Yeah, you just have to hope that they don't mess it up, because the amount of excitement that I have for what they did in England, you know, and I know there's a lot of fans that feel the same way. Don't kill this momentum with a stupid gimmick show like whatever this is, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you, Garvin. I mean,
Yeah.
TNA's got everything moving. They've got the British crowd completely behind them. Don't fuck it up. Please
Absolutely.
don't fuck it up.
Okay, Garvin, why don't you run us through NXT and Superstars real quick?
Yeah, actually this will be really quick, because both of these shows were awful. You watch Impact, and as soon as Impact does something good, you think, oh great, this is going to be a fantastic week in wrestling. You know, because the WWE is at least above average most of the time. And then Impact was fantastic. But then NXT, Superstars, they did mediocre shows at best. All the matches were meh, maybe. We had Tyson Kidd playing his new face role, but against Trent Beretta, who's also a face, so it was kind of awkward. The other awkward thing from NXT is they're now billing Alex Riley as the new breed Alex Riley.
Yeah, what the fuck? I mean, wasn't the new breed in ECW?
Yeah, it was a stable.
Yeah. I mean, that was, you know, when you had the Pope, you know, or Elijah Burke and fucking Kevin Thorne and Marcus Corvon. Oh.
Well,
We get
well,
it, Joe. You know a lot about wrestling.
Wasn't Bobby Lashley also in that?
They have to find.
I don't think so.
They have to find some gimmick for Alex Riley that works. I mean, they tried A-Rod, which they thought was a cool play on A-Rod from the New York Yankees. That evidently hasn't worked because the man's got less than no wrestling skills. In a couple of weeks, they'll come up with something else.
Yeah. The other thing to pull from Superstars, we saw an actually really good match between Jack Swagger and R-Truth. That was the main event of Superstars. Jack Swagger looked incredibly strong. This was probably one of his best matches that I can remember seeing in a while, at least. I'm torn on the booking, though, because they had R-Truth win. I'm torn because I want to see Jack Swagger as a champion get over. You know, some kind of push besides, hey, here's a championship, and then we'll never let you win a match. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I can see R-Truth being over as far as tier. You know, he's in the Elimination Chamber match coming up for the WWE title, so he is a little bit above Jack Swagger, but still, I would have liked to see Jack Swagger go over.
And Swagger is still with Vicky Guerrero, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's another thing. In addition to him being a champion, you'd like to see Swagger's connection with Vicky Guerrero pay off a little bit more, rather than him continue to be buried.
Yeah, really. Especially, yeah, excellent point, Rob. All right, Joe, SmackDown, go.
All right, to jump back to the entire India Rinkiki thing in TNA, and there's a point here. I have to speculate that the whole reason the WWE has brought back the Great Khali, starting at the Rumble, is to maybe steal some talent away from TNA. I don't know. That's like the vengeful Vince McMahon thought in my head. But really, is that happening? Probably not. But it's an interesting little thought. Big thing in the show really was Daniel Bryan bitching at people because he's a role model and a vegan, and everybody should be a vegan. This screams rehash to me. Why? CM Punk. I'm straight edge. I'm better than you. Everybody should follow me. It's the same thing over and over.
I'm going to eat my hamburger and like it. Screw you people.
Yeah, Big Show comes out and at one point and says, "Sorry, I couldn't hear you. I was just eating a steak."
That's awesome.
And they jar back and forth. Show choke slams Bryan. He tries to continue the assault, but AJ gets involved and stops him. Another highlight, Brodus Clay beat Heath Slater. Now, and after the match, Drew McIntyre came out, attacked Brodus Clay. Brodus Clay beat him up and danced in the ring to celebrate. So, Brodus Clay, here's the thing. I ended up having lunch with one of our fans, Judas Coltrane, and he brought something to my attention that I never even thought of. Who is the one guy that Brodus Clay seems to emulate more than anybody else?
Gimmick? The Godfather, kinda.
Yeah, that's what I said initially.
Yeah.
And some people have said, okay, it's Ernest the Cat, because, he's got his music and everything. No, it's fucking Dusty Rhodes.
Wait.
He did the bionic elbow. He did the entire, wave of the arms thing that Dusty used to do. He's got a similar build. That's fucking Dusty Rhodes dancing in the ring, shit. Come on.
I can see some of the similarities, but...
he's got... to Judas's...
But the average wrestling fan's not going to make that connection. The average wrestling fan is going to see the Godfather-like outfit. They're going to see the music that's like Ernest the Cat Williams, and that's the connection they're going to make. You make a great point, Joe.
Ernest the Cat Miller.
He is very much
not Williams.
like Dusty Rhodes moveset-wise, but the average wrestling fan's not going to pick up on that.
I think it's cool, and it kind of blew my mind. What else? Beth Phoenix and Natalya beat Exxon and Tamina. Well, there's a shocker. Randy Orton beat Wade Barrett. It's all crazy. No, wait a minute.
Wait. How can you not be talking about Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
Really? Do we got to talk about that?
Well, you got
Yes,
Barrett.
of course we do.
No!
Santino!
Yeah, Santino and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Santino get buried by Primo and Epico.
Yeah, that was sad. I was excited for that.
So, and Sheamus declared that he's not really doing anything with his shot until after Elimination Chamber, and that's pretty much SmackDown in a nutshell.
All right, so I'll let you guys know if you want to call in. It's 347-884-9018. And, hey, we got a caller coming up. Hey, Garb, go ahead, patch him through. Double A, this you?
Hello.
Hello!
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. We're doing a wrestling radio show. What's going on with you?
Really? So am I.
Craziness!
I think the main question is do you have your pants on?
No, I don't.
I think
Well, that's fantastic.
TWR is going to explode right now. 2 shows going on at once, talking to each other. Oh my God!
What's going on? This is Double A from the Rant. We're live
welcome
on the air
aboard.
right now. You're being broadcast to the tens and the tens that are listening right now, and the sycophants that are in my chat room. And I call because I know that today's a very special day for you guys, and I just want to call in from as the guy that sits on top of the TWR ladder. I just want to wish all of you here on the FTW podcast a very happy 100th episode.
I will appreciate your backhanded compliment.
It's not a backhanded compliment. It's sincere.
We are going to tip that ladder.
It is sincere.
Then climb up and take the title.
You know what's gonna happen, man, is we're gonna get our fans together, you're gonna get your fans together, and we're just gonna have to meet in the alley out back, I'm gonna wrap chains around my knuckles, Joe's gonna be over in the corner with bottles, going, Warriors!
No, I'm going to use a trident.
That's okay, boys. We don't need to do it like the Outsiders, because I don't have John Boy with me because he's still in the intensive care unit. So I just want to wish you guys a happy 100. We look forward to hearing many, many more episodes from here till the end of time, and if things go as planned, the end of time should be in December, and just many great things. And by the way, don't do what I did, okay? I know Blog Talk Radio very well.
We're not into dudes.
But no. Listen. I know Blog Talk Radio quite well. I suffered for 2.5 years. Whatever you do, don't call the head of BTR a Nazi. It got me in a lot of trouble. You guys don't want to get in trouble. So make sure and make sure.
See, here's the problem, though. Now I want to call the guy a Nazi.
Well, here's the thing, though. Make sure that a moderator is not on the air at the same time. You see, that happened to me one time, and, well, I never was able to live it down. So, but anyways.
Now I really want to do that.
Well, long story. I don't want to bore you guys with it. But listen, happy 100. I'll let you get back to your show. I got a show to do over here on the other side. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey, FTW tomorrow, 3 o'clock, right here, twrnetwork.com. Right?
Hells yeah.
Thanks, man.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, man.
talk
Take
to
it
you later,
easy.
man.
Okay, later.
And that was Double A from the Rant. You can listen to him every Tuesday at 8 p.m. at this time on twrnetwork.com. Great show. Really, you guys gotta listen to it. It's fantastic. All right, cool, man. Happy 100. You gotta appreciate when someone wishes you. That's the thing. It's like, is it an anniversary? What is it?
Yeah, we almost hit our 2-year mark. We got 2 more episodes to hit that, pretty much.
Yeah, but no one really cares about that. It's the episode number. That's the thing. It's like, it's not a
Well, yeah.
birthday. It's not a, well, whatever. Anyway, 100th episode. Woo! All right, ready to move on to Raw? Scott, you ready to fill in for Kevin's size 4 shoes?
I don't know. I don't have enough alcohol next to me, but I'll do my best.
Right.
Triple H starts off the show and basically gives kind of for me personally, kind of a weird argument that he did not want to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania because he always wants to remember him as the Phenom. And last year he was so adamant about breaking the streak. I don't understand quite why all of a sudden now he's just kind of like, I think I'm good. Thanks. Undertaker gives a pretty awesome video about how he's now obsessed over basically righting what was wrong, and that he wants to be able to walk away the next time he faces Triple H, and I thought that was a really well done video. I'm not completely understanding why they're taking this route for a rematch, though. I think anyone would kill for the opportunity to take on The Undertaker to kill the streak, so for Triple H to kind of brush it off, it seems stupid to me.
Maybe he's got plans.
Yeah, he's got plans. I guess plowing Stephanie it just takes too much time out of his schedule.
Well,
yeah.
I think part of it is the WWE. Part of me wonders if maybe the WWE is not quite sure what they have. I mean, the Undertaker's, the match, we were all looking forward to the match, in my opinion, and I've been an Undertaker fan since the day he first appeared. I don't think he was anywhere near what he could do, and I think and there have been a couple of big matches where the Undertaker has just, his body's just given out on him. I think the WWE is probably hedging their bets, in case something like that happens again.
I kind of see that. Beyond that, there was a lot of filler, I guess is the best way to put it, with Big Show and Daniel Bryan. Once again, AJ almost got in the way, and Daniel Bryan further proving that his heel turn is kind of dull at the moment. Chris Jericho finally explains that the reason why he says that the end of the world is coming the end of the world as we know it is coming, or whatever, I'm saying it wrong.
Okay,
yeah, anywho. The main reason why he's saying that is because everyone apparently is a Jericho wannabe. And it was interesting to have him kind of echo some of the sentiments he's already said on Twitter, further proving that social networking is becoming more and more of a promo-based area now.
Yeah.
CM Punk comes out, and I thought his little retort was genius. He comes out, raises the title, walks right back. And all Jericho could do is just scream, "What, you can't even say a word?" It was pure genius on CM Punk's part. Randy Orton, Great Khali, beat Cody Rhodes and Wade Barrett, and honestly, I think it was a waste of Rhodes and Barrett's time. I mean, the Great Khali is so terrible. Why is he back? I just don't understand it. And lastly,
he's huge in India.
Yeah, he's like the Hulk Hogan of India, and the WWE is probably trying to derail TNA's momentum there in India.
How interesting is that WWE, assuming that's correct, WWE looks at TNA as the threat that they can derail with one guy.
Anywho, it's not even worth really talking about that much. Johnny Ace basically has a nice little conversation with Triple H and hints that Shawn Michaels will be back next week, and that's actually really interesting to me. I want to see what he's got to say. And that John Cena versus Kane in an ambulance match. That sounds terrible. And then, of course, the six-pack challenge, where you had all the participants of the Elimination Chamber, and freaking Miz basically drops Truth on his head and takes him out.
Yeah, that was... Well, no, he didn't drop him on his head. He just didn't catch.
He was like one of those concerts where you see that fat chick leaping off the stage and everyone just kind of turned up. No, I'm not catching her. And she just goes, blam, right there on the ground. That's pretty much what Miz did to the Truth. It's like, no, I'm not catching that. I'm sorry. And that was sad. That was real sad.
But hey, it was nice to see Jericho pick up the scraps.
Yeah. It was a good match. Outside of, Miz basically damn near killing our Truth, it was actually a very entertaining match to watch, and I'm really interested to see how this Jericho and CM Punk feud progresses.
Okay.
If it progresses?
Yeah,
really?
No, it's just...
You don't think it's going any further?
No. I don't see it staying as just Jericho and CM Punk. I think they're going to be throwing more people at it. Just because, look, I'm getting very, very bored with where Jericho's going right now. And yeah, him going up against CM Punk, it's kind of where we wanted this to go for WrestleMania. Yeah, I want to go to Disney. I just don't want to take, the long-ass road on a Greyhound bus to get there.
Well, I think that's because they haven't really given a chance for the two to really work together. This is still relatively new, and outside of just what CM Punk has already done in a promo against Chris Jericho, as weeks progress, I can only imagine this getting better. I can't imagine it getting or staying bland.
Yeah, you say that, but it's been such a slow burn to get to this point.
Well, that's because WWE has really approached this return kind of retarded.
Well, I want to say, it's weird. It's just a weird, and it's not weird in like a cool, interesting way, like when CM Punk does a shoot promo, or with like, it's all these, it's just weird.
No,
the video
awkward.
packages, and then Jericho comes back and does that weird promo where he didn't say anything, and then comes back and basically does it again, and then talks about the world is going to end, or the world is going to start to end at Rumble, and nothing happens. It was just...
Well, don't get me wrong. I completely agree with you on that case. I mean, the whole build-up thus far, before the CM Punk introduction into this, has been very awkward and slow and kind of like, huh?
Yeah.
And they still really have left so many unanswered questions when it comes to Jericho's return. But I think now that they have actually given Jericho a real feud to kind of start building, other than Jericho just coming out and going, the world will end as you know it, there's actually something to build towards now. And I think now we'll actually start seeing some real work done by Jericho.
That's assuming the WWE allows CM Punk and Jericho to go right now, and they don't decide, well, let's hold off on that just a little bit longer. And since Jericho's insulting every wrestler, we'll bring generic wrestler B up to have a feud against Jericho.
Otunga.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All right. If you want to call into the show, it's 347-884-9018 to talk live to us on the show about anything you want, preferably wrestling related, and hopefully something we're talking about. Time for the main events. So, main event. How thin is the line keeping TNA from taking over WWE? As thin as Hogan's hairline, it seems. In a backstage interview, Hogan went on record saying that TNA was this close to taking over the WWE. Here's the quote: "I don't think the TNA understands how great they are. Their destiny is to be 1,000 times greater than they are right now, which means they would be bringing in an average of 3.5 billion people a week. As I can see it, I can feel it, I can smell blood with TNA. They're right on the verge, on the cutting edge, rolling right off the mountain onto what will be called the greatest company of all time. We are this close. We are this close because TNA is doing everything right and there's no stopping them now. Do you agree, yes or no?"
No.
Okay,
No.
Why don't you agree?
Because it's just if they were, I don't know, it just seems like a weak product. If people are still looking at it and going, what's TNA? And people are looking at it and going, ugh, I can't watch this.
Well, don't get me wrong. TNA is doing quite a few things right versus where they were like last year. They do have entertaining superstars going right now. The biggest problem is that everything that made them original, they took away. The six-sided ring, everything that TNA had that made them stand out, they basically lost that. And now they look like just another wrestling company. If they really want to take over WWE, they got to start becoming more unique again and not just another wrestling company.
Well, keep in mind, though, is Hogan basically gave this interview backstage on Friday at Wembley. So there is, on Thursday, sorry, at Wembley. So, I mean, there is something to be said of, he just saw, thousands of people inside this massive stadium cheering for his crowd. I can understand that high that he was on when he said that.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
I mean, could it also have been that somebody like Dixie, who's cutting him a paycheck, was standing right behind him? He's like, yeah, we're this close.
Okay. Okay. Have you guys?
There's
had your
two L's
fun?
in Balea.
Have you guys had your fun? Can Mr.
Go for it,
TNA
Rob.
speak? Thank you.
No, we're moving on.
No, the hell with you. When I take a look at people, at the complaints people make, it's really easy to see that a lot of the people who complain about TNA don't watch the show. A lot of the complaints I've heard have been stuff that TNA is changing or have done or have started to change. A lot of people complain that they don't have a developmental region. You know, WCW had the power plant. WWE has Florida Championship Wrestling. Well, guess what? TNA has Ohio Valley Wrestling now.
Yeah.
TNA is starting to equal the balance. They're starting to equal the balance between young guys up and coming and old guys. They're starting to take the young guys that they have. They're starting to develop those guys and start getting those guys ready to perform on camera. They are starting to put more emphasis on the X Division and letting the X Division be what it was, the thing that carried them up and really made them stand out. They are really starting to turn the corner. Do I necessarily agree with Hogan? I don't know. I mean, it's easy to say that. I don't think TNA is as close as Hogan probably would like to think that they are. But TNA is doing a lot more right than people think. It's easy to look at TNA and say, oh, well, they're not doing anything. They're shit. Watch their shows. Watch their shows for a pay-per-view cycle or two. The main problem that TNA has right now is they're not advertising. They're not pushing their shows either on the crowd that they're watching or outside of the media that they already have. They're starting to change that. Not only do you see them starting to push Against All Odds coming up this week, but you also see them you also see them starting to push Lockdown from Nashville, Tennessee, advertising that tickets are on sale.
Right.
They're starting to they've taken what WWE does with Twitter and they've done it and they've put an original spin on it. Instead of beating you over the head with Twitter 500 million times during the show, they just say, hey, here's our question of the week. Get on Twitter and tell us what you think about this.
Yeah, I wonder how many more ideas of ours they're going to steal from us. Garv, what do you got?
Yeah, the one thing that I think that they need to do that would really put them over the edge is show some consistency. That's the one thing that they're missing, is that whether it's storylines or, you know, advertising their shows or whatnot, it seems like they have 1 or 2 good weeks in a row and then they'll falter for 2 or 3 weeks
exactly,
up until
Garvin.
the pay-per-view. But, you know, they like the Pope versus Devon storyline. That went on for 6 months and it didn't need to if they got consistent time to tell their story. And they never did. They never got that time that they needed to really tell the story in front of the crowd. You look at the X Division. The X Division never gets consistent ring time. For some reason, they'll have 1 or 2 shows a week or shows a month where the X Division will be shown, basically. Otherwise, you never hear anything about the champion. You never hear from the champion. And that, you know, that could be solved with a second show, like we've said in the past. But really, it's just a matter of the booking team needs to make a decision on where they're going to go, and they need to stick with it. Because right now, it's obvious that they are giving up on it, like halfway through the stream. So
you make a good point. There are some consistency would be probably the second biggest problem that TNA has, maybe the first biggest problem, but consistency is fairly easily fixed. It's fairly easy for Hogan and Dixie Carter and Bischoff to get the creative team together and say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure we get, here's the format we're going to have. We're going to make sure that we get the X Division some time. We're going to make sure that we get some time on the World Championship race. We're going to make sure we get some time with the knockouts. You can do all of that in a 2-hour show if you structure it right and stop doing pointless segments.
Yeah, exactly. That's friend of the show, Pete, brought up that exact thing. Basically saying, he kind of agreed with Hogan, saying that they are really close. He says the problem with them is that inconsistency that comes without having the great writers and creative people on board, or the right people to run production. It brings up the old folks home, wrestling home for, XWCW and WWF. Wanted to make a point to notice the F. With age and inexperience and stuff like that. But basically saying not having a solid building block is hurting them. And he brings up the developmental thing, which we've addressed. But I think he does have a point in that they don't really have a core group that you can point to and say consistently week after week, these guys will bring it. But other than maybe like the gimmicky stuff, like I don't want to say X Division is gimmicky, but outside of the matches, yeah, I mean, like we've said, there's not really much going on in that division.
I don't know. James Storm, you can count on to bring a good match and excellent promos pretty much week in, week out. Austin Aries, same thing. Kurt Angle, same thing. Bobby Roode is turning into the same thing. Alex Shelley, now that he's back, same thing. Zema Ion, AJ Styles, Kazarian, maybe, if they actually push that storyline forward a little bit and we see what they're going. TNA has the people. The problem is they're not putting the pieces together in the proper order.
Okay.
TNA has to finally sit down and say, okay, these are our core group of people. These are the people that need to push us forward. It doesn't seem like TNA's really putting that on anybody's shoulders. And before pre-Hogan, they did. Pre-Hogan, they came to Samoa Joe and AJ Styles and guys like those and said, you guys are going to be the ones who make sure that our company succeeds or fails.
Right.
And they delivered.
Yeah. I do want to bring up just a few more comments before we move on. Friend of the show, Adam, said basically what you said earlier, which is not watching, but TNA would think of something stupid like that. I think, like you said earlier, that it's indicative of the perception that WWE fans have of TNA, where they don't get a lot of news, they haven't seen the product, but these things get in their radar, and they're like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? That rinky-dink show on Spike or whatever channel it's on? So these kind of things don't really help bring in the WWE fans that are only, not even casual, just like don't even follow the product. You're not going to bring them in with comments like these. Another friend of the show, Steve, said he said that a year and a half ago, which I think he actually said something very similar to that a year and a half ago.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and Jesse, another friend, said, in Hogan's mind, TNA beat out WWE 20 years ago, which, will be fair, is probably accurate.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, all right. Cool. You guys ready to move on to quick hits?
Quick hits!
Alright guys, it's time for quick hits. For those of you guys new to the show, each one of us is going to get 30 seconds to sign off on a news topic, and if there's time afterwards, we'll scream at each other for a little bit. And if you wanted to call in and yell at us for whatever reason, remember the number is 347-884-9018. That's 347-884-9018. Alright, now here's the current lineup of inductees and presenters for the 2012 class of WWE Hall of Fame. Steve Austin is going to induct Mike Tyson. The Rock is inducting the late Yokozuna. JBL will be inducting Ron Simmons. ADR will be inducting Mil Mascaras. So we'll get to see two people playing the same role, inducting two different people. Christian will be inducting Edge, and Triple H and Shawn Michaels will be inducting the Four Horsemen. Which one of these is the one you're looking forward to the most? Joe.
While I'm looking forward to Christian inducting Edge and the Four Horsemen, because it's the four Horsemen. I'm looking forward to, Ron Simmons.
It should be good. Rob.
I'm right with Joe. For my money, Bradshaw and Simmons were one of the best tag teams, not necessarily in how many matches they won, but just chemistry, just how well those guys work together. And, like Joe said, the signature, damn! That's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay. Scott. Sorry. Realized Kevin wasn't on the show. Scott.
It's all good. I'm actually very interested to see Yokozuna inducted. I was a huge fan of that character early on, and it's really good to see that they're finally getting him in the Hall of Fame, even though he's been dead for a few years. So.
Okay. Garvin, go.
Yeah, I also would like to see Yokozuna. At the same time, the only star that I can really relate to would be, seeing Ron Simmons. Ron Simmons was a big part of when I really started watching wrestling again. When I actually was mature enough to understand what was going on. So, by far, I think Ron Simmons does it for me. Also, by the way, that's a spoiler. I think that's going to be announced this week.
Oh, that JBL is going to be inducting Ron Simmons?
Well, yeah. Ron Simmons was being inducted. I don't think that's been announced yet.
Oh, it hasn't. Oh, big friggin' deal. All right, so
this is live, baby. Come on.
Farouk.
I don't know.
Farouk is
the
on
roof is
fire.
on. We don't need no water.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh man, yeah, I'm with Garvin on that one. I'm Farouk. The one I'm really looking forward to though is The Rock inducting Yokozuna, because Yokozuna was. He's just one of those guys. He's just one of those wrestlers who is really underappreciated for what he did. Yeah, he wasn't, a dynamite. He wasn't someone that you could rally around or anything like that. But basically, he was a solid performer, and just the sumo thing. I always just get excited when you get in the corner and do the sumo thing. I just think it's about time, and I think The Rock's going to do a really great job. Aside from that, Ron Simmons, yes, 100% yes, because Nation of Domination is one of my top 5 favorite ever stables. Hey,
Harrison, you know it's quick hits, right?
All right, whatever. Fine. Well, no,
don't make me call you Rob.
Normally we get the time in the chat, Garvin. We didn't get it this time, so fuck off.
I didn't give Harrison shit because I have a tendency to talk too.
Yeah, but as much shit as he's given you. After what? I mean, you came in episode 3?
Shut up. I only do that when he's off the call. Now you're just blowing that all out. I only make fun of Rob when he's not around. Now I sound like an ass.
Giggity.
All right, another rumored WrestleMania 28 match has come back from the dead, and that's Big Show taking on Shaq Fu himself. Shaq. We pulled everyone on Facebook and Twitter and basically got mostly positive reaction because there was a gas leak on it. I don't understand where it came from. Not everyone wants to see it, me, but very few people were completely against it. I was one of those few people. Joe, what do you think?
You know what? After seeing Big Show and Shaq go nose to nose when Shaq was a guest GM, I want to see it. I think it's going to be better than Snooki. I'm not expecting anything, though. It's better than Butterbean.
Rob, go.
I am with Harrison on this one. I'm one of the few people. First and foremost, I don't particularly agree with celebrities getting in and pretending to be pro wrestlers anyways.
Rock's doing it. Wait, never mind.
I see what you did
Rob.
there.
Sorry, Rob.
Crickets.
Thank you. But yeah, I think this would be a waste of a match on WrestleMania.
Okay. Scott.
I could definitely see what Rob's saying about it being a waste of a match on WrestleMania, but Joe's got a point. They had Snooki last year, and honestly, I think it would be better than Big Show versus Mayweather. So, well, let's see it happen.
All right. Farouk is on fire. Sorry. No.
Damn.
Hate this idea. I just hate it. Shaq had the show. Was it Shaq versus where he went on and did like sports and he was terrible at them, and then this trained him to then lose when he was playing for the Cavs. All right, I'm bitter because he came to the Cavs and didn't do anything, and I hate this. I hate everything about this. I don't want to see it. I'm with Judas on this one. He's saying no, it'll sell, but it should have happened 10 years ago. To be fair, that's probably right. It should have happened 10 years ago. All right, so you guys ready for the undercard?
Sure.
Shoot it.
All right, gonna breeze through the undercard real quick. Former Ring of Honor star Chris Hero was at WWE Developmental today, and word going around is that he's finally signed with the company. He is waiting for months. After waiting for months for the medical test to clear. Currently, there are no plans to put Hero and former Kings of Wrestling partner Antonio Cesaro together and bring them to the main roster. Those two were always going to be signed as separate talents, so if you're a wrestling hipster, put on your Bon Iver, because you are having a good day. SmackDown ring announcer Lillian Garcia's husband, Chris Joseph, stated during the last week's AfterBuzzTV.com post-show after Raw that Evan Bourne has entered rehab facility when the topic of tag team partner Kofi Kingston's match against The Miz was discussed. Joseph said on a late-night show that he was misinformed as Bourne did not actually enter rehab. He said he blamed it on the dirt sheets, which is ironic because they were citing him when this got around. So go figure. Former WWE star Lance Storm and Shane Helms were on Twitter last night basically complaining about how The Miz pushed out... Okay. Basically, Helms said, wow, Mike and Miz, way to push out on catching truth on that dive, jeez. Storm agreed and speculated that a bad enough concussion from the spot could cause Truth the Elimination pay-per-view, or even WrestleMania. Storm wrote, quote, that said Truth over-rotated his dive, which is why he landed on his ass and whiplashed and banged his head. Regarding the Miz's missed Truth dive, he said, it was a miscatch. While bad does not mean the guy is a dangerous worker, just a shitty catcher. Yeah. However, Miz, if you want to feel any better, the two people who were criticizing you were Lance Storm and Sugar Shane Helms.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Storm?
I was going to say, Storm was a good worker. He just decided to, take his leave when he did.
Yeah, but, all right, I'm just saying, I think Miz is doing a lot better right now than either one of those two guys could have ever done. Look, I'm just putting it into perspective, that's all I'm doing.
I think Miz said, fuck it, let him flop.
Let's not forget Lance Storm is also known as generic white guy number 1.
True, because JBL is generic white guy number 2.
So what's Johnny
No,
Laurinaitis?
Steve Blackman is generic white guy number 2.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, thank you. Although this is our second straight week of referencing Lance Storm. So, there's that. So, hey, Twitter's working for him. At Nico Sev on Twitter said, talking to us about the best wrestler in WWE list, he said you'd see Daniel Bryan and CM Punk most likely doing the 1 and 3 slots. Who would design... I'm sorry. The best wrestler in WWE, who deserves that number 2 spot, and where would Christian fall on this list? I gotta be honest. Best wrestler in WWE, aside from Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, damn.
You got to put Ziggler or Jericho up there. Jericho we haven't seen much of, so that's where it's tough.
No.
But if you go back in history, consistently, he was a very good worker. Now, you want to put Ziggler in that second spot? I'm all for it. But Christian's lower down.
Top 10? I put Christian in the top 10.
No.
Really?
I don't think so. It's been so long since we've seen him. I'm going to say no currently.
Okay, well then you got to say no to Chris Jericho currently, because... I mean, that's pretty obvious.
But he's active, though, at least.
He's active. I mean, yeah. I mean, really, we've only seen him a handful of matches, and I mean, we've only seen a couple of matches. Maybe in a few months we'll change our tune. Yeah, I gotta say Ziggler's number 2. Anybody disagree with that?
No, I completely agree.
Solid pick.
All right. Picadillo on Twitter asked, best entrance music, past and present. Wow.
Edge has to be up there.
Nah, screw that. The Goldust theme.
Oh, Goldust is epic. I'm not going to doubt you on that one, Scott. But I'm just saying, little Alter Bridge with Edge, that's money. That's money.
I hate Alter Bridge. It's a personal thing. I agree with you. I
understand.
Hate Alter Bridge.
I understand hating the band, but that you got to give credit to them for that song only. That song is badass.
Well, I know it's badass when my 4-year-old son sings it, so trust me. I completely understand. I agree. I still get goosebumps every time I hear, Goldust's theme song. It's just so epic.
What about Doink? Come on, man. Doink.
Yeah, Doink.
Fuck clowns.
I always loved the $1 Million Man's entrance thing with the laugh and everything.
Solid.
Yeah, that was great.
Solid pick.
I gotta go DX. I know it's kind of a cop-out, but I think DX is one of the favorites.
Kevin.
No, shut up. Come on, don't do that.
You know what one I do miss, though? It was Triple H's theme, the Our Time theme, or My Time theme before he was the game.
Oh yeah,
Right,
yeah, that
yeah,
one was
that
pretty
was
good.
good.
That was always good. Hit me with that Triple H. Yeah, that was money.
Okay, over and under. How many people? I'm thinking we'd have to go through maybe 6-7 million people before we find someone who thinks R-Truth has the best entrance music. Might actually have to be R-Truth. Would actually be the only one who would actually think he has the best entrance music.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, where do you rank Hacksaw Jim Duggan's theme, though?
Well, that's okay. On its
Above
own,
or below the Bushwhackers? That's all I really want to know.
Above.
above.
I would say above, only because I don't even remember what the Bushwhackers theme was. I
Neither
remember
do
the
I.
Bushwhackers, but I don't remember their theme.
No, it was just wasn't it just drums?
I think so.
Okay,
I
here,
thought it was banjo.
then I'll throw this one out there. Hacksaw Jim Duggan or Legion of Doom?
Ooh, Joe, you are evil.
I will one up that.
Because you're basing both of them on the audio drop before the music actually plays. Let's be honest.
I will one up that and say Demolition.
Yeah.
No, I gotta say.
Here come the action, here come the smash.
Oh, that song was brilliant.
No, I gotta give the nod again to Duggan, because I just remember every time I heard Duggan's music when I was a kid, jumping up on the couch and screaming, "Oh!"
No.
along with him.
No, that's not really his music. That was like his battle
That's
chant.
the problem. You
I'm
can't
with
separate
you.
that.
I'm with you as a Duggan fan, but I gotta say Legion of Doom had the better entrance. Of course, I'm from Chicago, so I'm biased.
Yeah, of course you are.
Yeah,
All right, so let's
true.
give me our question of the week. And thank you, Picadillo, on Twitter. Best entrance music, past and present. We're going to put it on our Facebook. Let us know on Twitter. We'll talk about it next week. Carvin wants to know, what about Wade Barrett's new music?
Hey,
That is
it's still
awful.
better.
It is.
It's still better than Dolph Ziggler's right now.
Yeah,
no, dude,
what is up
no.
with that?
Ziggler's is still better than freaking Barrett's. Barrett's is just terrible.
No, Ziggler's is awful. No, Ziggler.
All right,
Ziggler's
our
is almost
truths
just-
or Johnny Laurinaitis's?
Wait a minute. Are we saying You Got the Touch as John Laurinaitis? Because that's going to win hands down.
No, the silence. Which one would you rather listen to?
the silence.
The silence
The
or
silence.
our truth?
Okay,
That took me a
silence with
minute.
the option of You Got the Touch.
That took me a minute. I was like, wait a minute, does Johnny Ace have any music? All right, jumping into Against All Odds, pay-per-view coming up. All right, picks for the pay-per-view. World Heavyweight Championship match. Bobby Roode is going to be defending the title against Jeff Hardy, James Storm, and Bully Ray. Who's walking out with this one? Oh my God, Kevin's not on. I am retaining first place.
Not just yet.
Fuck yes.
Not just yet, man.
Well, he can't take it from me. The worst is Joe. So Joe wins, and now we have a three-way tie for first. I'm still gonna be in first place. Yes, thank you, Kevin, for missing this show.
Actually, you know what, Harrison? Let's go back just slightly, because what was that last WWE paper? Oh no,
That
never
was
mind,
Royal
you're
Rumble.
Right, but it ends. Right, I have brain fart.
That's
No,
okay.
no, but it ends after Mania. So if you lose this one, I could still catch up and beat you.
Yeah, no, technically right. Yeah. Technically, if you did, but you'd have to go on a streak, wouldn't you? Whatever. Anyway, if you want to call us, remember it's 347-884-9018. Let's just start top of the list and move down. Number one contenders match for the X Division Championship. Let's just start with this: Jesse Sorensen versus Zema Ion. Who's walking out with the contendership? Go on.
I'm gonna say it's the clear non-beer. It's gonna be Zema Ion. You like what I did there?
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Okay, go. Next up.
I'm gonna say
Rob?
Jesse Sorensen wins.
All right, Scott.
I'm gonna go with Sorensen only because I'm gonna pretty much assume Rob knows what he's talking about.
I do, Scott. I do. Thank you.
Garvin, who are you taking? Because I don't want to take you, because you screwed me last week.
I think Jesse Sorensen is the easy call. Just because he's had wins over Austin Aries. They spent more time building him up. You just haven't seen him in the last month and a half for whatever reason. But I'd really like to see Zema Ion. take this. So I want Zima Ion.
Okay. I'm taking Sorensen because, just like you said, he beat Austin Aries. I think Aries is going to retain against Alex Shelley, and I think this is the feud that they're going to build for going forward. So I'm taking Sorensen. Knockouts Championship match, Gail Kim versus Maitera. Gail Kim retaining the belt?
Yes.
No. I
Thank
think
you, Rob.
Tara's going to take it.
Thank you. I'm totally agreeing with you. Rob and Harrison. Scott, who are you going with?
I would love to see Tara win it, but I'm actually going to stick with Gail Kim.
So you assume Rob is going to be right, except for this.
She's Asian. I'm sorry. There's no chance.
They're not doing math. They're wrestling.
Yeah, but math is very technical, and therefore I still believe that she's Asian enough to put it through.
Look. If they're doing math, yeah. But I mean, I'm assuming at one point they're going to have to
just
park a
shut
car.
the fuck up and move on. God.
Garvin, you want in on this?
Yeah, I think Tara's gonna win. Unfortunately, Gail Kim, although it made an impact when she initially became champion, that division has gone stagnant ever since. So they have to do something, and I think that something is giving the title to Tara. So
No,
Tara
that's an
wins.
excellent point. Okay. X Division Championship match. Austin Aries currently has the gold against Alex Shelley. I already said I'm taking Aries. Who's going with whom? Come on, Rob. Be my lucky rabbit's foot.
Yeah, I'd like to
Yoo-hoo!
say Alex Shelley's going to win.
Oh, you douche.
They
Wait.
they can't be. But TNA's not going to take it away from Austin Aries right now. They need him too badly.
Woo! Yay! We got the same picks going all the way up.
Yeah, I'm going with Aries as well. I really want to see Alex Shelley with it, but I don't think it's time.
Okay. Scott?
I'm going to take the noob route and just say Shelley.
Well, the thing is that we would all love to agree with you because Austin Aries needs to get out of the X Division Championship.
Oh, no, I understand
and
that.
move into
I
the
understand
main
that.
event. But yeah, Rob pointed it out. They need him too much. It's kind of sad. I mean, it's like, he's kind of hamstrung right now. Because
I'm not completely oblivious to TNA. I do watch
Okay.
parts of it from time to time. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm going to take
Parts
Shelley
of
on
it.
this.
I do watch parts of the show, occasionally.
Yeah,
I've been
skip
known to
forward
experiment
a lot of
in
the
college.
stuff. Well, no,
Yeah,
no. I
Spike
skip
TV's
forward a
right
lot of
next to the
stuff on-
porn.
Yeah, exactly. You just flip the channel, and when, when they're going through the storyline, it's like, hey, this is a little bit better. Garvin, who are you taking?
The only thing that keeps me away from choosing Austin Aries is that the X Division doesn't need him. I think the X Division is in the same spot that the Knockouts division is right now with him as champion. It's kind of stagnant where they only seem to be booking the X Division, 2 to 3 times a month, and Austin Aries may or may not be involved in that. So I don't think they need him. But I would hate for them to give the title to Alex Shelley on his first real match back, which is what this is.
I think they're going to try to build the feud between Austin Aries and Alex Shelley a little bit.
Yeah, so
See,
I'm
I
going to
don't
go
think
with
so.
Austin Aries, and I'm going to hope that that's what they do, is they build up Austin Aries versus Alex Shelley again for the next pay-per-view, and actually consistently build it up.
Oh, that'd be nice. I still think it's going to be Sorensen long term. I don't think, I just don't, because Shelley just came back. I think he's like, throwing him at the belt right now is such a weird thing. But anyway, the tag team championship match, Matt Morgan and Crimson hold the gold, and they're going up against Samoa Joe and Magnus. Who's going to walk out with the belt? Does anybody really think Matt Morgan and Crimson are dropping this?
You know what?
Really? You think so,
yeah.
Garv?
Crimson
I'm
is
gonna
terrible.
go.
That's my
Just
argument
gonna
right there.
kill you.
Yeah, I'm going Samoa Joe and Magnus as well.
Yeah.
They keep making a big fuss about Crimson being undefeated, but he hasn't had any singles matches yet. If they want to start pushing that storyline, they need to drop the tag team belts. And Samoa Joe and Magnus are a viable team to drop the belts to.
All right. Scott, who are you taking?
Joe and Magnus.
Scott. Do I want to use this one as my trump card? I still want to say that they're going to keep it on Morgan and Crimson. I just don't see him dropping it to Joe and Magnus right now.
All right, so Harrison says.
All right, I'm taking Joe and... Joe, I got it. Go away. Go away. Get Christopher out of there. All right, challenge match. The phenomenal AJ Styles versus Kazarian with Christopher Daniels. Who's winning? Styles or Kazarian?
AJ Styles, but then again, I'm a huge AJ Styles mark, so I'm biased.
All right. Joe, Scott?
I'm going to say Kazarian. I think with the Christopher Daniels backup, I think that's where it's going to go, and they're going to drag it out a little longer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Scott?
you need a match on this show that invites interference, because that's what TNA likes to book. I'm gonna have to go with Kaz as well, even though I can't remember the last match Kaz has been in.
Okay.
It seems like
Scott's
he hasn't
gonna
been in a
take-
match in 6 months.
Yeah. All right. So, I'm sorry, so who are you taking? You're taking Kaz?
The last match he was in was during the wild card tournament where they paired him up with AJ Styles.
Right.
Back in 1996.
Yeah.
No.
And I didn't really care about him then.
Back
so,
just a few weeks ago, asshole.
Back when we had a white president. Garvin, who are you taking again? You're taking Styles?
I know. I'm gonna go with Kaz.
Okay. You go, I guess. What? That would have been like, what, 3 years ago? Right? 4 years ago?
No. The tournament just ended.
No. When was Obama elected? That was 3 years ago, right?
Anyway, move on.
World Heavyweight Championship match. Bobby Roode is current holder of the gold. He's taking on Jeff Hardy, James Storm, and Bully Ray. Who's going with whom? Anybody think?
I'm taking James Storm.
You're taking James Storm, huh?
Fuck Rude.
Okay.
Harrison, who you taking?
I want to say it's going to be Roode or Storm. Roode's had... Yeah, I'm going to say Roode drops at the Storm. I think that make for a really good feud. Who are you taking, Joe?
Criminal record Jeff Hardy.
Really? You think you're going to drop it to Jeff?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm at a loss. I mean, I could see Rude retaining. I could see Storm winning it.
Yeah.
I could see him putting on Hardy for the Hardy hype,
Yeah.
and which only leaves Bully Ray and.
I could even
just
see
won't do that.
I could even see a scenario where they put it on Bully Ray. This match is, I mean, there's an equal chance each man here gets it. So.
See, I see Jeff Hardy being the cynic's choice. I don't see him being a real one. I think, like Joe said, he's like, well, let's do it for the Hardy hype. That's the thing. It's like, I see it as a cynic's choice. If it's down to me...
Well, you know Bully Ray's not going to get it because
Right.
you'll probably see the return of Kennedy.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying it's Roode or Storm. So that's why I'm going Storm. Because I can see them drop the belt off Roode. Scott, who are you taking?
I'm going to stick with Rude, actually.
Really? Okay, fair enough. Garf.
I'm gonna go with Bully Ray. I agree with everything you guys said, but I think Bully Ray is actually the strongest character in all of this, and probably needs a big win like this the most.
Yeah, I could see Bully Ray actually coming out with the title, but for feud value and everything, I want to see James Storm get it. But with how Bully Ray's been performing as of late and everything, he's really surprised me with how he's done in his individual's career.
I'll give you one thing, though, about Bully Ray in this match. I think he's the best talker out of all four of those guys.
No way in hell. There is no way.
It's my personal opinion, man.
There's no way in... Your personal opinion is wrong, I hate to tell you. But you are entitled to it. I think James Storm is the best promo man out of all four of them.
Nah, I gotta go with Joe. Bully Ray, by far, is the best promo guy.
Okay. Cool. All right, time for win. Okay, well, actually, you know what? No, I'm sorry. Against All Odds, looking at the lineup for the pay-per-view, are you guys looking forward to this?
Yes.
Well, yeah. We're making you watch.
We know
it.
Rob is.
Yeah, we're making you watch it. Of course, you're going to look forward to it. The rest of us, are we all looking forward to it?
Actually, this is a pay-per-view I don't think I'd mind plunking down some cold hard cash for.
They're doing this one in England too, right?
That I don't know, but I mean, I'm looking forward to the number one contenders match for the X Division. I'm looking forward to the X Division match. The world title match is going to be good. So
I'm looking forward to the challenge match. I'm looking for Kaz and Styles. I think that's going to be a great match.
That'd be another good one.
Just because, I mean, Styles to me is he's.
I think your weakest match on the card is going to be your Knockouts title.
Yeah, but that's only because Gail Kim's in it, and for some reason she's just not gelling very well. You know.
Well, she needs her Dr. Scholl's. Then she can be gelling like a felon.
Yeah. Well, that's
I could actually see the weakest match being Sorensen versus Zima Ion because they're still both pretty green. And under a big stage like this,
I don't know. Both Zima Ion and Jesse Sorensen have been stepping up their games. I mean, I've seen some just fucking fantastic performances from Sorensen, and Zima Ion has really developed his character and has really got like the cocky heel type character going for him. I think
right, but a pay-per-view
agree.
is live. With Impact, they've had taped opportunities if there was a botch or anything like that. I mean, we really haven't seen it. I'm just saying.
Well, we'd hear about it.
Knowing that they are still somewhat inexperienced, that could actually be the weakest match. Just saying.
Possibly. No, it's a good point. It's a good point. I don't know. I just see, for some reason, I mean, when you look at these two guys, especially with Sorensen, you just see they have a certain comfort level that you can build like a very confident match on. So it has potential to be the weakest one, but I really think it's a long shot to say it's going to be because they have stage fright.
Yeah. By the way, this show will be at the Impact Zone in Orlando.
Oh, okay, so it's not going to be in England. Wow. That's sad. That would have been a great crowd. Okay, cool.
Yeah, they would have.
Yeah, all right. Well, oh well. All right, time for win fail. Win fail. All right, wins of the week. Joe, your win of the week. Go, Joe.
My win of the week happened on Raw. There was the no, wasn't that? Okay, well anyway. Sorry, no, it was on SmackDown. I'm sorry. Epico and Primo against Santino Marella and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I don't know if it was Primo or Epico who did it, but basically hit a spinning backstabber, and it was beautiful to end the match. It was beautiful, just done. It was beautiful. Love it.
All right, Rob, your win of the week. Go.
I'm going to give it to the wrestling fans in England. They turned out, they filled Wembley Stadium. They knew what the hell they were talking about. They were involved on everything, and it's just been, to me, it was just another glimpse that the wrestling scene in England that a lot of people thought was dead. It was just another sign that, England is starting to turn it around and is starting to produce not only quality pro wrestling talent, but quality pro wrestling fans.
All right. Garvin, your win of the week.
Yeah, my win of the week, same thing, Rob. I thought this was a really strong show from Impact. I don't know if you can completely say it was the crowd that did it, but there was just something special that happened that night. Every match just seemed perfect. I only had one complaint the entire show, but after seeing how everything played out, I think it was good how it ended up. So yeah, Impact this week.
Yeah, my win of the week is, this is going to seem pandering, but yeah, we got to 100 episodes. We don't get there without the fans. And it's not just, and we're trying to stop calling them fans because we're calling them friends, because really it isn't like traditional radio. And I hate traditional radio. I think it's such a bullshit bygone industry. But the fact is, you guys, your participation, your enthusiasm, your incredibly awful awful, awful jokes that we do not read on the air because I don't want to offend people. Love them all the time. Your weird emails, the tweets that are just unrepeatable. You guys get the show, and it's fantastic, and I love it. And I gotta say, 100 episodes in, when Joe and I first started this, and he was basically making fun of me, I did not think this was gonna work out as well as it did. And really, and we're still trying new stuff, and it's working out so well, except for today. Ironically enough. So yeah, my win of the week, of the year, of the decade is our fans, be you hardcore or not, sticking with us and rocking out with us. It's a lot of fun. All right. Scott unfortunately had to jump off, so he is not here. So we're just going to jump onto... I do want to thank Scott for being on the show, as always. You can check out Limp Podcast, or it's Limp Podcast? No, it's...
No. The Lethal Injection Minecraft Podcast at lethalinjectionpodcast.com.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta write that down somewhere. All right. If you want to call us, it's 347-884-9018. Fails of the week. Your fail of the week. Go, Joe.
My fail of the week is a great Khali being involved in major storylines right now.
Did we just die?
I think I just had a stroke.
I think I just had a stroke.
Okay, and apparently we lost everyone. Not sure what happened, but anyways, we were actually really wrapping up the show. Hopefully, we can get everyone back in a reasonable amount of time. You can call in 347-884-9018, and we'll get you on if you have anything you want to talk about. Obviously, we were talking about Against All Odds, win and fail, and everyone's back on, so I'm gonna bump it over. All right, you guys in?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you, Garvin. Thank you for tending bar for
our... We came in the
our...
middle of you doing damage control, man. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
so, again, the number
My
is...
fail of the week is now going to be Blog Talk Radio and Skype.
Yeah, it wouldn't...
We're going to blame it on Skype, I think. But again,
yeah, let's blame it on Skype.
The number is 347-884-9018. We only have a few more minutes. Harrison, take back over.
Yeah, it wouldn't quite be an FTW show if Skype didn't fuck us somehow, huh?
Yep.
Fantastic.
That's how we're going these days.
Well, since that's the easy fail, I'll take that one. Joe, what's your fail of the week?
Well, I already said it was Great Khali.
Yeah, but we lost it, so come on.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean... Well, we recorded it, but shit. No, it's Great Khali. Great Khali's causing me to have a stroke because I don't understand why he's involved in current storylines.
Okay. Rob, your fail of the week. Go.
My fail of the week is going to have to go to... I've got to agree with Joe. Just a Great Khali, I mean, I understand what WWE is trying to do with it, but you got to do. There's got to be better ways to do it.
Okay, Garv, you got a fail?
Yeah, my fail actually goes to the WWE as a whole. I thought this week was pretty terrible. I can't even remember half the stuff that happened on SmackDown. It just seemed really mediocre and dry, and I don't know, different than what they have been doing lately. They have been putting out some really exciting stuff, but this week was just a downer overall.
Okay, my fail is Skype for obvious reasons, but no, my real fail is the Drew McIntyre Brodus Clay feud. Has there been any other feud you can think of in recent time where it's like, this is seriously where you're gonna take this? I have no interest at all in watching Drew McIntyre getting buried by Brodus Clay. I mean, is there any, I don't know, conflict there? I mean, it's like, there's nothing. There's nothing there. He's just getting buried over and over again and coming out saying, you're making a I can't do an Irish accent, but if I could, I'd say it, and I'd say, making a travesty of pro wrestling or whatever. It's the worst gimmick going on right now. And considering how much heat and how much enthusiasm the crowd has for Brodus, it's kind of sad that this is where they're going with it. All right. Remember our question of the week, best entrance music, past or present? Check out FTWpodcast.com/merch to buy a t-shirt. They're totally awesome. We got a Hacksaw Jim Duggan t-shirt up there. We got a wicked awesome ECW t-shirt on there. So if you're definitely a hardcore wrestling fan, we got the stuff for you. And it's not like, shittily Photoshop pictures of Hogan with a belt or something like that. Like, they're good. They're good. They're quality. As always, you can find this episode as well as our entire archive at FTWpodcast.com. You can find us every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TWR Network. Chat with us and the rest of the listeners at TWR. And speaking of them, they just keep growing. Almost a new live show every day. So check out all the other TWR shows. They're all a good time. And check out the TWRnetwork.com for all the latest wrestling news and rumors. And props to Paul Jordan, who writes a lot of that content. He's doing a great job. Facebook.com/FTW Podcast, Twitter.com/FTW Podcast, YouTube.com/The FTW Podcast. You can call us and leave a message for our show intro contest at 313-444-FTW4. That's 313-444-3894. Call us in, leave an awesome or ridiculous impression of an intro for our show. We'll throw it on there. We'll throw it on intros for the show. Best one of all of them, we're going to give you a t-shirt. It's going to be awesome. And please rate us on iTunes. Wow. Okay, so that was our 100th episode, guys.
Hooray!
Woo!
Man, it started out great, and then people started bailing because things kept coming up, and then naturally Skype had to crap out on us. So thank you for that. All right, let's just get out of here.
Peace.
Looking forward to the next 100.
This is the Talk Wrestling Radio Network.